In the world of the modern monarchy, scandal is a stain that's hard to remove. It's a lesson the disgraced Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor has learned the hard way. But the shadow of his downfall doesn't just stop with him. It's now casting a long and isolating pall over his two daughters, Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie. They were born as granddaughters of a beloved queen, seemingly destined for lives of purpose. Instead, they find themselves caught in a royal storm they didn't create, and increasingly on the outside of the family they were born to represent. As calls for a streamlined, scandal-free monarchy get louder, the princesses seem to be on the losing end of a quiet battle for their place. But behind the scenes, a debate is raging over their future. While some are pushing for their royal exile, it appears one senior royal is still fighting their corner, working to protect what's left of their legacy. To get why Beatrice and Eugenie are in such a precarious spot, you have to look at the source of the trouble: their father's spectacular fall from grace. For years, Prince Andrew's name was linked to the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, a connection that bubbled with rumor and denial. Recently, that has exploded into a full-blown crisis. The situation escalated dramatically in February 2026 with Andrew's arrest. He was taken into custody on suspicion of misconduct in public office, a charge reportedly linked to allegations he may have shared confidential trade information while he was the UK's special trade envoy. This was an unprecedented moment for the modern royal family, forcing King Charles to act. In a move to stop the bleeding, the king confirmed his brother would cooperate with police and stripped him of the last remnants of his royal life, including his prince and his Royal Highness titles. This blow came as newly released U.S. files related to the Epstein investigation reportedly mentioned the York family, renewing scrutiny on their past associations. It dragged the princesses back into the orbit of the scandal. It's critical to state that there has never been any suggestion of wrongdoing on the part of the princesses themselves. They are, by all accounts, collateral damage. Yet, in the court of public opinion and within the cold calculus of the monarchy's survival, their proximity to the toxicity has become a liability. The public and even parliamentary pressure has been immense, with debates emerging about removing Andrew from the line of succession entirely. While these discussions haven't officially targeted Beatrice or Eugenie, the shockwaves are undeniably rocking their foundation. They are the daughters of a man whose name is now synonymous with disgrace, and the question being asked in the halls of power is no longer just about Andrew, but about the future of his entire family. For Beatrice, 37, and Eugenie, 35, the fallout has been swift and chilling. Royal expert Hilary Fordwich has warned that the York name itself has become toxic, leaving the sisters with an impossible choice: publicly distance themselves from their parents or risk being cast out with them. Increasingly, it seems that choice is being made for them. There are strong suggestions that a hardline approach is being championed from within the family. Some royal commentators, including biographer Andrew Loney, point to the heir to the throne, Prince William. Loney suggests that the Prince of Wales is calling more of the shots and was a key influence in the decisive action against Prince Andrew. Now, that same uncompromising focus on protecting the crown's image appears to be extending to his cousins. Perhaps the most public example was the rumor that the sisters were excluded from Royal Ascot. Once a staple of the royal procession, their reported absence was glaring. Loney noted that the so-called ban blindsided the princesses and was a clear signal about their place in the family. While some insiders have claimed the story was just a strategically leaked rumor and the sisters had no plans to attend anyway, the damage was done. The story itself was a public declaration of their diminished status. This cooling of relations isn't just happening in public. In March 2026, Princess Eugenie quietly stepped down from her role as a patron of the charity Anti-Slavery International. Officially, her departure wasn't linked to her father's scandals, but the timing fed the narrative that the sisters are being forced to retreat from public life, their associations now deemed too problematic. Each step back, whether forced or voluntary, paints a clearer picture of two princesses in exile. The most significant battle, however, is being fought over their very identities. The titles of princess and Her Royal Highness are not just names. They are symbols of their birthright. Now, even those are up for debate. On one side are those who believe their time as princesses should be over. Royal writer Richard Palmer bluntly predicted that Beatrice and Eugenie will eventually lose their titles. He argues that in King Charles' vision of a slimmed-down monarchy, there is no place for non-working royals who still enjoy privileges like their subsidized homes at St. James's Palace and Kensington Palace. Fellow royal expert Eugenie Bond agrees, suggesting the sisters might be encouraged to quietly drop their HRH styling, just as their father was forced to. In this view, the monarchy must be lean and modern, and the York princesses are a relic of a past it can no longer afford. But on the other side, a powerful counterargument is being made. Public relations expert Lynn Carrat warns that stripping the sisters of their titles would be a disastrous own goal for the monarchy, creating unnecessary complications and a significant public backlash. Her argument is one of fairness. Beatrice and Eugenie have spent years building their own professional careers and have remained dignified and silent amidst their father's turmoil. To punish them for his sins, Carrat suggests, would be seen as cruel and unjust. This position is also backed by constitutional principles. Legally speaking, the princesses' positions in the line of succession, currently 9th and 12th, are their independent birthrights. Any legislation drafted to address Prince Andrew's status would almost certainly be narrowly targeted at him alone, to avoid the messy and unpopular precedent of punishing his children. And yet, they are caught between public perception and palace politics, with their futures dependent on who wins this argument. So, King Charles III is their defender. While it may seem counterintuitive, given he was the one who ultimately brought the hammer down on his own brother, the evidence points to a king playing a careful and deliberate role. He is acting as both the guardian of the institution and a protector of his family. The single most important piece of evidence came directly from the palace. In a clear and unambiguous statement, Buckingham Palace, under the authority of King Charles, confirmed that the princesses' status and titles would remain unaffected by their father's disgrace. In the face of intense pressure, this was a definitive declaration. It was the king drawing a line in the sand. Andrew's punishment would not extend to his daughters. Period. This act is not one of sentimentality, but of principle. Charles is, above all, a traditionalist. He understands the institution and the laws of succession. His stance aligns perfectly with constitutional law. Beatrice and Eugenie's titles are theirs by birth, not by association. While Charles the monarch had to act decisively against his brother to preserve the crown's integrity, Charles the uncle is upholding a fundamental rule of that same institution. A direct line of succession is sacrosanct. We can also see a more human motive. Charles is a father and a grandfather who has weathered his own share of public scandals. More than anyone, he understands the unbearable pressure of being born into the royal fishbowl. While some may be focused on forging a streamlined monarchy for the future, King Charles is tasked with managing the messy, complicated present. His approach appears to be a delicate balance, inflicting the necessary institutional punishment on his brother while offering a quiet, but firm, shield of protection to his nieces. However, the king's protection is not a golden ticket back to the Buckingham Palace balcony. The days of Beatrice and Eugenie as central figures in the royal tableau are over. King Charles' protection is about preserving their dignity and birthright, not their public roles. The vision of a slimmed-down monarchy is still the endgame. The sisters will likely exist in a new, hybrid space, princesses by title, but private citizens in practice. They will continue to pursue their own careers, raise their families, and live their lives largely outside the royal spotlight. Beatrice is married to Edoardo Mapelli Mazzi, with whom she has her daughter, Sienna, and is a stepmother to his son. Eugenie is married to Jack Brooksbank, and they have two sons, August and Ernest. It is a life that some experts believe they may ultimately relish, shedding the suffocating constraints of royal duty for a more private, family-focused existence. But the path forward will require immense discipline. As Hilary Fordwich warned, a highly visible separation from their parents will be non-negotiable if they are to secure their tenuous peace. They must walk a tightrope of supporting their parents privately while maintaining a clear public distance. Any misstep could jeopardize the fragile protection the king has afforded them. Their future, therefore, is is one of quiet dignity on the absolute fringes of the family. They will carry their titles and their place in the line of succession, but they will not be working royals. It is a compromise, brokered in silence by the king, designed to solve an impossible problem. The story of Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie is a modern royal tragedy. They are two women caught in a devastating storm they did not create, tarnished by the actions of their father. They face a powerful push from within their own family for a cleaner, leaner monarchy, a vision that has little room for them. That push for their isolation, which some commentators attribute to Prince William's influence, represents a pragmatism that prioritizes the institution's image above all else. And yet, they have not been cast out completely. A quiet, but powerful, force is working in their favor. Their uncle, King Charles III, has emerged as their defender, acting not out of sentiment, but out of a deep-seated respect for tradition and birthright. He has drawn a protective circle around his nieces, ensuring their titles and their place in the family's lineage remain secure. While their royal careers are effectively over, their identities as princesses have been saved. The king's protection, however, may only guarantee their legacy, not their relevance. The question that remains is a stark one. In a monarchy relentlessly focused on its future, is a quiet place on the fringes enough? What do you think? Should Beatrice and Eugenie be allowed to retain their royal titles? Or is it time for them to become private citizens? And who do you believe is really calling the shots in the royal family today? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. And if you want more deep dives into the dramas and dynamics of the world's most famous family, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel.